Is emergency fund the key to your financial security? What if I told you that one financial move could protect you from unexpected setbacks, keep you out of debt, and give you peace of mind? That's exactly what an emergency fund does. But is it really the key to financial security? Join me as I take on the challenge of building an emergency fund from scratch and uncover why it's an absolute game changer for financial stability. Let's dive in. Why is an emergency fund so important? Having a solid emergency fund in place is often described as the foundation of financial stability. But what does that really mean, and why is it considered essential for overall financial well-being? The truth is, financial emergencies can strike at any time, and without a safety net, the consequences can be devastating. Imagine this: one day everything seems fine. Then suddenly your car breaks down, your pet needs urgent veterinary care, or you face an unexpected medical bill. Without an emergency fund, these expenses could derail your budget, forcing you to rely on credit cards, personal loans, or even borrowing from family and friends. But with a financial cushion in place, these situations become manageable setbacks rather than full-blown crises. Not only does an emergency fund provide peace of mind, but it also ensures that your long-term financial goals remain intact. Without one, you might find yourself forced to dip into retirement savings or liquidate investments prematurely, ultimately costing you more in the long run. Common myths about emergency funds debunked. Address misconceptions like, "I don't make enough money to save for emergencies. I can just use my credit card in an emergency. A few $100s is enough for an emergency fund. I don't need an emergency fund because I have a stable job." Emergency fund versus other types of savings. Clarify the difference between an emergency fund and other savings accounts. Emergency fund for unexpected expenses, job loss, medical bills, car repairs. Short-term savings for planned expenses, vacation, home renovation, new gadgets. Retirement savings, long-term investments that should remain untouched. What not to use your emergency fund for: buying a new gadget or upgrading your phone, investing in stocks or risky assets, splurging on non-essential purchases, vacations, designer items. The consequences of not having an emergency fund. Without an emergency fund, every unexpected expense turns into a financial emergency. Let's look at a few real-life scenarios. Sarah's story. Sarah was living comfortably until she suddenly lost her job. With no savings to fall back on, she was forced to rely on credit cards to pay rent, buy groceries, and cover her basic expenses. Within months, her debt had skyrocketed, leaving her in a financial hole that took years to climb out of. John's challenge. John was caught off guard when he needed an urgent surgery. With no emergency savings, he had no choice but to take out a high-interest personal loan, which added to his financial stress while he was trying to recover. Alex's lifesaver. On the other hand, my friend Alex had been diligently saving for years. When she was diagnosed with a chronic illness, requiring frequent hospital visits and expensive medication, she didn't have to worry about finances. Her emergency fund allowed her to focus on her health instead of scrambling to cover medical bills. These stories highlight the stark contrast between being financially prepared and facing hardship unprotected. An emergency fund isn't just a pile of money, it's your financial armor. How much should you save? Experts generally recommend saving 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses. However, the ideal amount depends on various factors. Job security. If you have a stable job with predictable income, 3 months' worth might be sufficient. But if you're self-employed or working in an unstable industry, aim for 6 to 12 months of expenses. Debt situation. If you have high-interest debt, balancing savings and debt repayment is crucial. Consider starting with a smaller emergency fund, such as $1,000, while aggressively paying down debt, then gradually increasing your savings. Lifestyle and obligations. If you have dependents, own a home, or have medical conditions that require regular care, you may need a larger safety net. It's also crucial to regularly reassess your emergency fund size as your financial situation changes. A growing family, a career shift, or an increase in living costs should prompt you to adjust your savings goal accordingly. How to build an emergency fund from scratch. If you're starting with little to no savings, don't worry. Here are some practical steps to get started. 1. Start small, stay consistent. Begin by setting aside a small, manageable amount each month. Even $25 or $50 per paycheck can add up over time. Treat your savings like a non-negotiable bill that must be paid. 2. Automate your savings. Set up an automatic transfer to a separate emergency fund account so you won't be tempted to spend the money. Many banking apps allow you to round up transactions and save the difference. 3. Reduce unnecessary expenses. Review your budget and identify areas where you can cut back. Dining out, subscription services, and impulse purchases are great places to start. Consider meal prepping, using public transport, and seeking free entertainment options. 4. Increase your income. Consider side hustles, freelancing, or selling unused items to give your savings a boost. Look for ways to negotiate a higher salary or take on extra shifts at work. 5. Use windfalls wisely. Tax refunds, bonuses, and cash gifts are perfect opportunities to bulk up your emergency fund quickly. Instead of splurging, allocate a significant portion of these windfalls to your savings. Building an emergency fund is not about how much you save at once, but about how consistently you save over time. Where to keep your emergency fund? Your emergency savings should be easily accessible, but separate from your everyday spending account. Consider keeping it in a high-yield savings account for easy access and interest growth, a money market account for a balance between accessibility and earning potential, a separate savings account at a different bank to reduce temptation. Avoid keeping your emergency fund in investments like stocks, as their value can fluctuate, making them unreliable in a crisis. The psychological benefits of having an emergency fund. Beyond financial security, having an emergency fund provides something invaluable: peace of mind. Knowing you have a financial cushion allows you to take calculated risks, such as changing jobs or starting a business. Handle emergencies without stress and anxiety. Avoid falling into the cycle of debt. Gain confidence in your ability to manage money responsibly. There's a powerful sense of control that comes with knowing you're financially prepared for whatever life throws your way. Final thoughts. An emergency fund is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It serves as the difference between financial resilience and financial distress. Life is unpredictable, and having a financial safety net ensures that you remain in control no matter what unexpected challenges arise. Think of your emergency fund as a financial buffer that buys you time and peace of mind. It prevents small setbacks from becoming financial disasters and helps you stay focused on your long-term goals without the constant fear of falling into debt. Whether you're starting from scratch or strengthening an existing fund, the key is to stay consistent. Every dollar saved is a step toward greater financial security. Have you ever had to rely on an emergency fund to navigate a tough situation? How did it help you? Share your experience in the comments. If you found this guide helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss my latest insights on personal finance. Your financial journey is important, and I'm here to help you every step of the way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.